Who originally set up the Sea Organization?
It was L. Ron Hubbard.
And who was in charge of the Sea Organization while Mr. Hubbard was alive? Who was the head officer?
He was the head officer.
And upon his death, you have knowledge as to who assumed his authority?
That would have been Mr. Miscavige.
Is there anything else in that document, sir?
Page 9, there's another star.
Did you put that star on the page?
Yes.
And what does that say?
This is in the Munich org. Again, where a Sea Org mission went in and says she removed one exec who was dramatizing, quote, can't be done, close quote, and put a qualified in ethics replacement on the post.
Okay. Let's see. Let me show you exhibit number 5. Can you identify that, sir?
Yes, it is. I can.
What is that?
These are portions of the applications for tax exemption made by Scientology to the IRS.
Well, what do you mean portions?
These are portions and the page numbers down in there. These are responses to questions from the IRS back to CSI.
Who is making the response, the IRS or the CSI?
This is the CSI
Foundation.
This is CSI's response to questions from the IRS.
And what is CSI?
Church of Scientology International.
Okay.
Is there a date on this?
Not on this document, no.
But can we identify for the record what the pages are so we know on this document? Is there some way to identify them?
There's actually 2 different documents here stapled together, Mr. Weinberg. The second page of what is stapled begins the page 33, 34, 35, and then continuing 35.
And Mr. Young, what is the significance of this document?
The objection is to the form.
Go ahead.
The first page is the representation of CSI and a description to the IRS, where it says it's not an organization, it's not incorporated, it has no income, and where it's trying to reduce the presence of the organization and make it into just something like a low little order that you just have membership in with no real power.
Objection and strike improper lay opinion testimony.
Mr. Young, and based upon your experience and knowledge of the Sea Organization, does the Sea Organization, while you were in Scientology, have income?
Objection is to the objection lack of foundation.
Yes, there's even a definition in the dictionary for Sea Org income.
The dictionary from Scientology?
Yes, the Sea Org reserves.
What are the Sea Org reserves?
It's the money set aside from the income.
And from where does the Sea Org receive its income?
From the different orgs.
Different orgs, such as Flag Service Organization or San Francisco org, or what orgs are we talking about?
Lack of foundation.
The primary source of the income are from the orgs to where missions are sent.
Are you reading from that, sir?
Not yet, sir.
Okay. What is the dictionary, the Scientology dictionary entitled?
Again, this is the Modern Management Technology Defined. This particular volume was first printed in 1976.
This is the volume that had the religion policy letter in it that we previously identified?
No, this is the one that had the missionary definition.
Okay. And what does this particular book define Sea Org reserves?
Objection, the document speaks for itself.
Objection, the document is also not in evidence, and he's going to read from the document and show you in evidence.
We'll make a copy at the end. Go ahead.
Sea Org reserves, often miscalled flag reserves or management reserves, which they are not. SO reserves are the amount of money collected for the corporation over and above expenses that are sent by various units via FBOs and the finance network to the corporation's banks.
Okay. Now, Mr. Young,
and that is from a particular HCOPL which is cited at the end, 9 March 1972.
Okay, let me have that back because we're going to copy that at the end. Mr. Young, when you were in the for-profit corporation ASI, do you have personal knowledge as to where the money went that ASI collected?
Yes.
Where did it go?
It went into Mr. Hubbard's personal accounts.
Objection, lack of
Objection, move to
foundation.
strike, lack of foundation.
And how do you know that the money ASI collected from the different Scientology organizations went into Mr. Hubbard's personal accounts?
This was reported on a weekly basis at the staff meetings, how much was going into each of his accounts.
Objection, lack of foundation.
Were you
Move to
present?
strike.
Were you present at those staff meetings?
Yes.
Was Mr. Miscavige present at those staff meetings?
Yes.
Was Terry Gamboa present at those staff meetings?
Yes.
Now, the Sea Org document, the CSI document, Exhibit 5 that you have in front of you that answered the question from the IRS as to what the Sea Org is, does it also define the position or authority of Mr. Miscavige?
Yes.
And how does it define Mr. Miscavige's authority?
Are you just going to read it? Is that what you're going to do?
No, I'm asking him a question. I didn't ask him to read
Well, then
anything.
the document, objection, the document speaks for itself.
Objection, no. Go ahead.
Through the what I would characterize as a fraudulent representation of Sea Org ranks.
And why do you say that?
All right, I move to strike that comment. That's non-responsive.
Lack of foundation also.
What is the basis for you saying it's a fraudulent representation?
Well, because what they're trying to show is the highest ranking people with brevet ranks and earned ranks. Mr. Miscavige is the only one with an earned rank, and he is basically the head of the organization. And yet they've tried to represent that there is no organization with any head.
Does this document represent that Mr. Miscavige is the only captain of the Sea organization that is not a brevet rank?
That is correct.
Okay.
Objection, move to strike. The document speaks for itself. And objection to this form, leading.
And within your experience as a Sea Org member and officer,
Sea Org what?
member
Officer?
and officer.
Petty officer number 2? You're saying it's a Sea Org officer?
Yeah, I think the word speaks for itself.
Wrongful.
In your membership of the Sea organization, what does brevet rank mean?
Brevet rank is a position that represents the position the person holds in the organization as opposed to what they hold in the Sea Org.
Can we just clarify, what do you mean organization?
That's my next question.
Okay.
What do you mean when you say organization, rather than the Sea Org?
Well, for example, like at FSO, the commanding officer of the FSO would be the captain of the FSO, although they may hold the rank in the Sea Org of something considerably lower and even be enlisted